Welcome to 2026, and welcome to the first of the Transportation Commission meetings for the City of Scottsdale. This is the meeting for January 15th, 2026. Like all meetings, I'd like to formally call the meeting to order. Welcome city staff, transportation commissioners, and the public to today's January 15th, 2026 meeting of the Transportation Commission. Meetings are being held in person, televised on Cox Cable 11, and streamed online with scottsdaleaz.gov for the public to listen and view meeting in progress. I'd like to ask for a roll call to begin this evening's meeting.
Thank you. Chair Wilcoxon.
Here.
Thank you. Vice Chair Cardella.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Marmon.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Pankowicz.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Koffthal.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker.
Here.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Susan. Spoken comment is being accepted for agendized and non-agendized items. The request to speak forms must be submitted no later than 90 minutes before the start of the meeting. Susan, do we have any requests for spoken comment today?
Chair Wilcoxon, we do not.
All right. Written comments are being accepted for agendized and non-agendized items and should be submitted electronically at least 90 minutes before the start of the meeting. These comments are also emailed to the Transportation Commission and posted online. Susan, do we have any written comments?
Chair Wilcoxon, we do not.
All right, well with that, I will proceed to the agenda, and our first item is the approval of the minutes from our November 20th, 2025 meeting. Do we have any comments on the notes? Okay, I do have one comment, actually on page 3, paragraph 5, line 1, and then on same page, paragraph 7, line 1. The fire chief is referred to as chair. So if you could make those changes. And nothing else was out of order.
Chief Weller. Wait, not chief, I'm sorry. I'll get it corrected with his proper title and amend that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I don't see any other comments. Would someone care to make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 20th, 2025 meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes as amended. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we need a roll call vote on this?
Give me 1 second, excuse me. Motion by Commissioner Koffthal and second by Commissioner Davis?
That's correct.
Okay, I'll do an individual vote, which is what I think you said. Chair Wilcoxon?
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Cardella?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Marmon?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Pankowicz?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Koffthal?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Thank you. Minutes are approved as amended.
Great. Thank you, Susan. Moving on to agenda item 2, approval of the annual Transportation Commission report. And is there a presentation with this? I know we were sent the copy of the report, but
Chair Wilcoxon, we just have the document that you were sent in your packet, as well as I gave each of you a printed copy, and we can scroll through if there's any questions anyone has. We included, I just noticed an error. I said 8 meetings held because I don't know how to do math. When it's under 12, it should say 9, unless I'm mistaken. And I included any topic that was brought in order of when we brought it as much as possible for action items as well as information. And then if you could scroll down just a tad, then we just include information on the attendance of each commissioner. Everybody did a great job at attending. And then it just discusses information about the Paths and Trails Subcommittee, everyone's ethics training that was completed on time, the selected officers, and included just required items like that the review of the bylaws and city code was completed. So other than that change I need to make to say 9 meetings, please let me know if there's any other changes or questions.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Susan. Are there any comments, corrections, changes? Yes.
I had one, Chair Wilcoxon. Under the member in attendance table, for my present, it should be 7 instead of 1.
Oh my, thank you. Yes, that is,
Thank you,
it's
Commissioner
a Susan
Davis.
copy-paste error. 7, thank you.
Any other comments?
I'm wondering for Mary Ann Miller, should that be 8, since she was just through October and we had a meeting in November?
That should be 8 as well.
She was with us in
Shouldn't it?
spirit for that last meeting.
Yes,
Any other comments?
thank you.
All right, with those corrections, I will entertain a motion to approve the annual report.
I move that we approve the 2025 annual report for the Transportation Commission.
Second. Thank you, Commissioner. Second. Thank you,
Barker,
Commissioner.
excuse me, Baker.
All right, it was second, or it was motion by Commissioner Marmon and seconded by Commissioner Baker.
Okay, Chair Wilcoxon,
Yes.
thank you. Vice Chair Cardella,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Marmon,
Yes?
thank you. Commissioner Pankowitz,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Koftal,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Susan. All right, and moving right along, we're going to number 3, election of officers. We do this every year at this time, so that we, and the commission meeting, or the term of, I guess the term of election is a year until the next time round. So with that, we're looking for nominations for chair and vice chair.
I would like to nominate Commissioner Wilcoxon as chair.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Second?
Or Vice Chair. Thank you, Commissioner. Do we vote on these separate, Susan, or do we just?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. I guess you could do it however the group would wish to do it, unless we had multiple people wanting to nominate.
Let's do it in one go.
Okay.
Yeah, if you'd like.
Commissioner Gopfau.
And then, so then I nominate Vice Chair Cardella as for Vice Chair.
Second.
All right. Thank you.
So we
Davis.
have an initial motion by Vice Chair Cardella and a second for the first motion by who?
Commissioner Marmon.
Marmon, thank you. And then an amendment by,
Commissioner Koftal.
amended motion by Koftal, sorry. And who was the second?
Commissioner Davis.
Thank you. Any discussion? Looks like we're ready to take a
Ready to
vote. Chair Wilcoxon,
Yes.
thank you. Vice Chair Cardella,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Marmon,
Yes?
thank you. Commissioner Pankowitz,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Koftal,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
thank you. And Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
thank you. Congratulations, Chair Wilcoxon and Vice Chair Cardella.
Great. Thank you. And thank you all for your faith in us. Okay, moving along to item number 4, the 2026 Transportation Commission meeting schedule. We have a,
So Chair Wilcoxon, as a reminder, the bylaws do require that we have 9 meetings per year. And typically, we discuss and take action, as a commission, you take action on which months those will be. It's up to the group, but a lot of times, July and December have been the months that we don't hold a meeting. I believe in 2025, the group talked about not wanting to have 2 months in a row that there was a canceled meeting. So it's up to all of you to how you want to schedule your meetings.
so we're looking for a third meeting to cancel that's not contingent or not adjacent to July or
Yeah.
December.
Unless you wanted a different 3 months altogether, but it would be the action, a motion for the group, or a motion to make and vote on.
Okay, all right. Commissioner Marmon.
We're in the middle of this transportation safety plan, and I believe there's a schedule for that. And I think we need to know that schedule so we can keep the safety plan going.
Sure, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Susan, do we have any idea what the schedule is for the transportation or the safety plan?
Chair Wilcoxon, members of the commission, I believe that item should be finished coming to this group by April, possibly May, unless Nathan has any other thoughts on that.
Our consultant is looking at, we've had many meetings and sessions over the last year. They're compiling all of our comments as well as things, finishing up the draft. We should have that soon. We'll review it internally, have some back and forth with the consultant. So I agree with Susan about April would be the time we can bring the final and completed draft to you guys so we can start reviewing it as with the commission.
Are there any, between now and, say, April, are there any proposed or scheduled briefings on any of the sections?
We have finished up all of our briefings. We're just looking to bring the draft to the commission now.
All right, so we presumably could take one of the February or March off, or we could try something like September. Any other thoughts? Go ahead, Commissioner Marmon.
Well, I think to balance things off, we should consider March, because we have July and December on the second half of the year off.
Okay, all right. Makes sense? Okay. So we have March, we have a proposal, although it's not a formal motion, a proposal for March, July, and December being the months we don't meet. Would someone like to make a motion for that?
I would be curious to know what the staff thinks of that, because I don't think we've ever had one that early in the year, skipped a meeting that early in the year. They've been on the back end of the year.
The staff is, our regular time off of the council is July and December, and then coming up with March seems, we're fine doing what the council needs us to do in terms of, commission doing what they need us to do to have agenda items. So March is fine. It coincides with pretty closely to spring break, so I can imagine that helps staff as most people take time off during spring break to be with kids. So we can accommodate what you guys think is best for the month off.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Yes, Chair Wilcoxon, I'd like to make a motion to take off the months of March, July, and December.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Baker. The motion has been made and seconded.
I didn't catch which one seconded.
Commissioner Baker.
You both sounded very enthusiastic. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Baker. I'll take a roll call vote. Chair Wilcoxon?
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Cardella?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Marmon?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Pankowitz?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Crofstyle?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think it was the addition of the spring break concept that really sold March for everybody.
Yeah.
That was coming directly from a parent, so.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving along to item number 5, Scottsdale trolley paint color change. We have a presentation on this, and I'm sure there'll be lively debate. So, Nathan.
Thank you. Chair Wilcoxon, members of the Transportation Commission, yes. So we've been contemplating this. We've been mulling this over for a while now to talk about what is our color of the Scottsdale trolleys and whether we should change them to reflect the city a little bit more. It's the right time to have this conversation because we're going into a process of purchasing many vehicles, coming up 13 over the next 3 to 4 years. So coming up with a new color palette for the outside will help us as we procure more vehicles. So by now, the 5 vehicles are scheduled for delivery in fall of '26. We're looking to create a consistent color scheme that improves the recognition and civic branding of our trolleys. Nothing inherently wrong with the old style. It's good. It has strong, vibrant colors. We're just looking to model it a little bit more after what we have for civic branding. We do have a strong civic design. It is incorporated in a lot of features in the city. So just trying to emulate that and bring the trolleys into consistency with the rest of the city. History of the Scottsdale trolley, so 25-26, we switched from a seasonal service to a year-round service. We currently have 17 vehicles in the fleet. The vehicle color scheme, it's designed to complement Valley Metro, and the next slide will show that while that decision was to complement it and make them look similar as they go through the city, it kind of leads to confusion, or at least slight confusion, of which vehicle is coming from time to time. So the decision was made to complement Valley Metro. We're trying to work away from that, make ourselves distinct so that our riders, when they see a Valley Metro vehicle or a Scottsdale vehicle, can identify which one is which and know which one they're getting on. Services from Monday to Friday, we have 3 routes, one in the middle part of town, 2 in the southern part of town, one that kind of extends from the middle to the southern part of town. And it's mostly primarily for connections to the civic centers, to the senior centers, and then we also provide some special event service, including the spring training service that goes from the parking garages in Old Town to the ballpark during home games for the Giants. Go Giants. These are our models, and I'll go through all the ones that we currently have in stock. So these are our 2013 models. There are older versions. We have a 13-foot bus that is showing more of the traditional trolley look with the wood paneling on the sides. Purple with gray is the consistent theme through it, and then we have the more 35-foot long bus that has a more simplified version of the style. Going with 2017, we still have that purple and gray modeling. The 2018, we have a 35-footer that is that same purple and gray. And then our new one has more of a white top with the purple. And the latest buses that we purchased was in 2020. This is the combination or the comparison between Valley Metro buses and our fleet. You can see a similar color scheme. So as you see it coming down the road, you have to wait, I would say actually quite a while before you can identify whether it's a trolley or a Valley Metro. I certainly have taken some time or some thought as it comes down the road of which service is being provided. It is important to note that ours is a free trolley service that does different routes. Valley Metro is paid, so that identification is somewhat important to know which bus is coming and whether you're getting on it or not. So it weakens brand recognition or public awareness, the passenger uncertainty of which vehicles are part of the fleet, and then inconsistent approach across the routes. So we have different types. We have the trolley version, we have the newer versions that have a little bit more white in there. And we circle these buses through the different routes. So sometimes you'll see the one with the wood paneling going on one of our more, the route in the middle part of the town, or you'll have one of the 35-footers. It's a service that we provide where we're not designating certain buses for certain routes. It's based on the morning and what we have available. So looking for consistency so that it's identifiable throughout the rest of the routes. A caution as we go into the different kind of color schemes that we have. As we noticed, we have two different types of blue that are standard for the city. We have our Civic blue, and then we have our denim blue. The Civic blue is a lot darker. These are the new Tempe Orbit buses. They are very similar to the Civic blue, the dark blue. So just to put that as an example, that we do run routes that come very close to the Orbits. So having the goal being to distinguish ourselves from other routes as well as bring the Civic branding. Make note that our Civic blue is very close to what Orbit is now running with the darker blue. So as we've seen in many different photos taken and branding throughout, at least what I've seen through many parts of the city, the trolley does seem to get photographed quite a lot and be presented in different marketing campaigns, whether it's ours or just across the city. So having this type of branding is important in terms of, I see a lot of pictures of this. This is one on Scottsdale Experience. It is one of the very, very old buses that we used to have blue and white trolleys going through the Old Town area, and they still use a picture that is with the blue and white buses. So we see this a lot of places. We want to make sure that we bring back the blue and gray for that civic identity, but I wanted to highlight that I see pictures pop up in all different places all over the place with trolleys in there, even if it's not necessarily talking about the trolley. The recommendation is the standard color palette for the city to ensure a consistent approach across all routes. A high contrast design to make a quick recognition at a distance. We're going to make sure that we include the Scottsdale trolley branding on the sides, as well as city markings and then fleet numbers, and then adopt a template-based approach to facilitate future updates. So the key thing of this is not just to identify the colors we want to use for this new batch of buses that we're purchasing, but put in our designs, our design standards, that this is the template that we use, so that if we want to make that change, we'll come back to the commission, but make sure that we've standardized the look and feel of our buses, so we don't just make changes based on each batch that we purchase. So as we go into the action item, one of the actions is to standardize our template for the buses. You can see on the side, that's our primary color palette. So we have our primary denim, light blue, Civic, dark blue, secondary being gray, and then the secondary also being white. So one of those could be the secondary colors. We've been, I'll bring that up as we go into the colors. Based color design and schedule. So we have been collaborating with our graphic design team and Scottsdale Arts to come up with a color palette as well as the scheme itself on the buses. So we need to confirm the color palette this month, and then a very quick turnaround by February to stay on schedule for the procurement of the buses in the fall of coming up with the paint scheme itself for the decals for the new bus. So that's our schedule. And then the fall, we will get those new buses, and then we will come back here as well as look to move forward with what we're going to do with the existing fleet. Like I said, we are purchasing 13 new buses, so this will be our effort moving forward with those 13 buses. A lot of the old buses are going to come to their end of life, and do we spend the money to replace their paint and their decals, or do we let them run their course, and then in a short amount of time we'll have the fleet with the new branding. So something to be decided once we get these new buses. The goal is just to start the process with these 5 buses and get rolling in the right direction. Going into the different paint schemes that we looked at with our graphic design team, we matched a lot of the different colors together. I should identify that This is not the layout of the paint necessarily. We're not going to do just a top coat and then a bottom coat. We are going to have our graphic design team work on maybe bringing in some different kind of mixtures of where the paint is going. This is just to highlight that we have a secondary and a primary color that we can identify for the buses. We were recommended that 2 paint colors was the right choice for, if we brought too many in, it would blend together and start getting a little messy, a little complicated. So it was highly recommended to us to choose 2, a primary and a secondary, and then you'll see the different variations of them. So this is a denim blue with the white, a very traditional Scottsdale look. And we have the Civic blue and the white, and as I mentioned, with the orbits and looking a little bit similar to them if we went about this. The gray, the denim blue and the gray, once again, another very Scottsdale looking color of that. Then we have Civic blue and gray. Then we had a gray with a partial wrap or decals, so going with an all gray, and then going pretty heavy on the decals to highlight Scottsdale influence. And then an all white for a full wrap. We've talked to Valley Metro about their wraps, and they only use their wraps for about once a year. We're not necessarily looking to wrap our buses once a year. Paint lasts significantly longer, so we wanted to highlight this about all the options that we looked into, but strongly don't recommend going with a white bus with wraps. It's gonna, the maintenance is gonna be too much and it's gonna be too costly. So vinyl wraps versus decals. So the wraps should be replaced 2 to 3 times in the bus's life cycle. If we're being very concentrated on preserving the style, we live in the desert. The sun does affect the decals quite a lot. It does crack and break. So we do need to replace the decals at least a couple times in the lifespan, which is typically 12 to 15 years. Whereas the vinyls is going to be a once a year thing. So it is an option that we can use and that Valley Metro uses from time to time. So if we do want to bring some vinyl wraps together and do it for a seasonal event or special branding for a year, we have that option and we could move forward with that for something that we'd like to highlight, but that would be a case-by-case basis and not something to do as the regular standard paint scheme. Collaboration with Scottsdale Art, we have had them in the room. It was a good idea to bring them in. They have some ideas about colors as well as scheming, and then they've talked to us about bringing our current public art onto the buses, whether we put a wrap on there to show the public art or whether we use some of our key pieces as influence in some of the decals that we use. The jackknife statue being one that would definitely represent the city logo while also representing a public art piece that many of the residents do like and admire. So the jackknife statue, that's the one on the far right, if you're unfamiliar, it's right there on Main. It is the horse and rider, the horse and rider logo being representing Scottsdale very strongly. I'll tell you that word later when I'm not up on the podium. Then we have the One-Eyed Jack. That's a very popular statue on Indian School. The horses, and then the one over by Fashion Square. So a lot of different statues that we have that we can use as models for the decals that we come up with for the buses as we move forward. And so with that, I've showed you what we have and open up for discussion or comments.
Thank you, Nathan. Now, so you're looking for us, or from us, to choose or make a recommendation on which standardized exterior?
So right now, I would say approve the standardization of the exterior paint color, so telling us to go and make a standard. Then approve us using the blue, white, and gray. Then we're going to come back before February 23rd and show the paint schemes and the paint styles that we have. So this is just to say that we're going to go forward with the Scottsdale colors and then to standardize it.
I see. Okay. Thank you. Commissioners, any?
I guess I should say the last thing, sorry, Chair Wilcoxon. If you have any preferences or suggestions about the colors, we would love to hear it too, so.
Thank you for your faith in my fashion and color sense. I will probably defer to city staff on this one, but regardless, commissioners, any questions or comments? Commissioner Marmon.
Was the bus identification feedback from riders?
I don't think we've gotten that from riders. That would just be understanding of what the goal and the intent was for the color we have now and observation from staff.
How's the ridership?
How's ridership?
How's the ridership? Is it good?
It's going up, it's trending up. We're still coming back from COVID. We're looking to market and provide possible changes to the routes to improve ridership.
Well, I think since we're going to put our 2 cents in, I really like that gold decal with Scottsdale in it. I mean, it's distinctive. It says Scottsdale on it. It's on the older bus. But I do think Scottsdale is also known for horses, especially at Westboro, and that would be a good candidate. Thank you.
Thank you.
One comment?
I'm done. Oh, just a moment. Commissioner Koftal.
Just real quick, just my 2 cents. I think I prefer the light denim blue and gray. Just that's just my 2 cents on that one, since you graciously gave us that option to give that to you. This is a little outside of this one here. I just wanted to make a comment, since you're looking at them, as somebody rides a bike a lot and takes the bus a lot. Some of the buses come with bike racks that do 3, and some come with ones that have 2. And so if there's an option there, I just wanted to give, the 3 makes it a lot easier to use the bus. So I just wanted to give that feedback. And then you mentioned in your presentation, we've got like 5 currently different schemes, color schemes, I think, or 4. And you kind of rotate them all throughout through our 3 different routes. Has there been any talk about just keeping certain ones on certain routes, just to make that a little more, because I have noticed that it's been a little confusing, and and I did have one friend who specifically came to Scottsdale to ride the trolley, and was disappointed that she got on one of the newer ones rather than the old style with the wooden trim and stuff like that. So,
Chair Wilcoxon and Commissioner Koftal, this is a product of our fleet inventory, the size of our fleet, that we have limited buses right now. The bus purchase could help with that. We maybe could run the same buses on the same routes, but right now we use what we have available and send them out. So we can look into it, but right now we're just, our fleet is so small that we use what we have in stock to put out on the route.
and then, so our current fleet is 17 vehicles, and we're getting 13 more in the next 3 years, I think you said, right?
Yep.
So are we, at the end of that 3 years, are we going to still be at 17 vehicles, or are we going to be higher than that, or lower?
We are determining that right now. It was planned to be replacements, so come back to 17 again, see if we can extend the life of some of our buses and maybe work with the size of our fleet. So maybe get up to 20, 21 buses.
Okay. All right, then that's all I have. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Commissioner Baker.
It seems to me so the Orbit buses, the blue color in the Orbit buses looks like it's closest to the Civic blue. So I would think we want to go with the denim blue to differentiate ours from the Orbit buses. And then in the literature, it talks about that the maintenance is higher on the white, as you might imagine, color. So that would lend me to go to the gray. So denim blue and the gray seems like the best way to go, to me.
Sounds good. I agree. We do have in our specifications with the vendor the ability to put in 3 colors. So we can put in 3 colors and then look to do how we configure them. So if we drop one off, we can get some savings on that too. So we can start with 3 and work down to the 2, just to provide that.
3 colors would be like both blues and white, or?
3 paint colors. We get to just choose which paint colors it is. So we can go with gray, white, and blue. We can go with civic blue,
I see.
denim blue, and white. They just want us to identify the 3 colors we are planning to use.
Okay.
Commissioner Davis.
So as I was looking at the presentation beforehand, I kind of pictured in my mind's eye, like, what do I think of the Scottsdale Trail looks like? And what's interesting is that you're telling me it was the oldest model we have from 2013 with the wood paneling and such. And I've realized now that I've actually seen probably our trolleys out on the roads thinking they were a Valley Metro bus because they lacked that detail. I understand the reason to shift away from the purple and make it our own thing and tie in the blue, which is great. I think both of the blue options are presented, look fine, and I agree with Commissioner Baker's, I guess, choice between the 2 as well as the gray as the secondary color. But I would really like if we were able to incorporate the wood paneling or gold accent that we have. I think that is a characteristic of what I think of a trolley should look like, even though I know they're buses, right? They're not trolleys, but I don't know if that's applied as a third coat of paint or third type of color, or if that is done as a decal.
The bus that you see, the one that looks like the trolley, that is wood paneling on the sides, and it is challenging to maintain, as we have to go and get a replacement part. So that is the challenge with those. If you see this one right here, that was, I believe, one of the 2018 models. You can see they tried to replicate the trolley look while putting it on a 35-foot bus.
On the left picture, the rightmost.
This picture with this one right here.
Huh?
So it was this that had just the 2-tone paint scheme, and then this one that tried to model it as close to this without putting the wood paneling onto it.
Got it. I would encourage, I understand there'll be a cost associated with that. From a design standpoint, that is probably what I would like to see, is to have, again, maybe not real wood paneling, and I accept the fact that in Arizona that's not the correct choice, but if there could be some decals applied to give that trim look, I think that's a massive selling point. And again, I think that's what, if you told me, what does the trial look like, that's it.
That's what
It's probably not a blue and white bus with a logo on the side. Those are my
Commissioner
comments.
Davis,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Banquets.
I know a lot of cities are looking into EV buses, but it's really difficult in our climate to do, especially in the summer. Are any of these buses going to be electric?
The 5 that we have already talking to Gillig is CNG. Most of our fleet is CNG, and we haven't put in the purchase for the next 5 or the next 3 after that. So this 5 are CNG buses. We haven't looked into EV at all. Our infrastructure is built for CNG right now, so that would be a big shift for our fleet and for our yard to start incorporating that. I know that solid waste has looked a little bit into that. They've been very reserved about their vehicles going on EV. They don't think that it has the force to get the dumpsters up over the up and into the truck. So, but no, we haven't looked into EV at all.
Okay. And then to, I guess, echo what Commissioner David has said, I think that some of the best run cities in terms of their buses and transportation really market their lines. Like there are many cities in the world where you know your bus is coming because it's the red bus or it's the gray bus. And I would like to see, it seems like we're really limited in the color palette, and it matches our adjacent cities and also Valley Metro. But I would like to see something that better markets the fact that this is Scottsdale specific. Whether that, I know that white can be challenging, whether that can be done with more gray or different ways to apply the white so that passengers can really know their bus is coming without having to even read the sign, which is what the cities with the best transportation you could do. You see something red coming and you know that's the bus that takes you home. But that would be really nice to see. And I'm not advocating for red. I'm just advocating for something that's just that you can see it and know that's the trolley and not confuse it at a distance with Valley Metro bus or an Orbit bus.
Chair Wilcoxon and Commissioner Pinkowitz, we are, that is our goal, is to make ours distinct and reflective of it's our bus and that you see it coming. So we will try to incorporate that as much as possible to differentiate ourselves from Valley Metro or the Orbits or anything else out there.
Any other comments, Commissioner Mankiewicz? Okay, any other comments? So Nathan, just to be clear, we're going to look at the color palette this month, and then you'll come back to us next month with decals options. Is that correct?
We have a very tight schedule with Gillig. We have got to get them our design by February 23rd. So I have to come back here next month to show you and hopefully get that into the order that we will have.
Okay. So to Commissioner Davis's and Commissioner Pankowitz's comments, that discussion about what the things will look like once we've decided on the base colors will really be next month.
Will really be next month.
Okay. All right. So with that in mind, we're looking for a vote or a motion on color palettes. We've got choices of 2 different blues, a white and a gray. If we'd had one more color, it probably would have been impossible to decide. But do we have a motion?
Yes, Chair, I have a motion. I would like to propose approving the standardization of the Scottsdale trolley exterior paint scheme for the entire fleet, and then approving the use of the city's traditional palette with the use of denim blue and gray as the baseline paint schemes.
I second that motion.
Okay. So we have a motion by Commissioner Davis and a second by Commissioner Baker for blue and gray, or excuse me, denim blue and gray.
I have a question. So we can include white in that as well, though, right? Really, it's just to keep blue, white, and gray, and then we're selecting which blue,
Yes.
but not determining what the top is, if that's gray or white. That'll come down to the designs and the professionals to come up with that.
Yeah, and it could be a little white stripe or it could be half of we just need to give them 3 paint colors. So yeah,
Right.
it's just identifying 3. So either blue works.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, could you repeat the motion, please?
Sure. The motion, as I understand it, is to approve standardization of the Scottsdale trolley exterior, and then approve the, at this point, we have a color palette that consists of 2 colors, the denim blue and the gray. But we have an option for a 3rd color. So those are the 2 motion, or that's the motion on the table. Do we want to vote on that, or do we want to amend it?
So I would amend the motion to include the white, blue, and gray in the color scheme with the denim blue as the blue.
Thank you, Vice Chair Cardella. Do we have a second? No second.
I wanted, so, sorry, well, finish that part.
I second the amendment.
Thank you, Commissioner Marmon. Any discussion on that?
Well, one comment in the document, as I said earlier, that white is much more maintenance intensive. So it would seem that gray would be the way to go, just to reduce. Do you have a feel for what percentage more maintenance is required for the white versus the gray?
Just more
Touch up and
more clean, more touch up.
Cleaning, yeah.
It would reflect it more so.
That's my thought, is go with the gray. That way, we reduce the maintenance costs.
Thank you, Commissioner Baker. Vice Chair Cardella.
This motion, though, is just allowing the designers to select from those three colors. So they may come up with a design that has a gray top, and then that's something that we would vote on later. But this is simply saying these are the three colors to choose from versus here's two colors to choose from.
Yes.
That's my understanding, yes. Does that make sense, Commissioner Baker? Okay. Any other discussion? Commissioner Cardella, or excuse me, Commissioner Koftail.
I just had a question just along Commissioner Davis's question about the trim. With the trim color to kind of give it that, not actually wood paneling, but to give it that sort of trolley look, would that be part of this base color scheme, or would that be something for February?
It would be part of February. We're going to have
Okay.
to,
All right, then.
that would have to be decals, which are not included in the base color scheme. So if we're going to look to try and replicate a trolley as much as possible with the purchase order that we have now, that would be with decals.
All right, then I do not have any more questions.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second, and then an amended motion and a second. So I guess we're voting on the second, or the amended motion. But both motions, or both proposals had common feature of the approval of the standardization of the Scottsdale trolley. The most recent amended motion is to include in the palette the denim blue, gray, and white. And this February, the Arts Commission, or you all, will come back to us with a combination. We're not deciding on how we would use those colors, but those would be the color palettes that we would work with after this.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Okay. So with that, I think we're ready for a vote.
Thank you. Chair Wilcoxon.
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Cardella.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Marmon.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Pankowitz.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Kofthau.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. All right. Thank you all, everyone. Normally color choices are an argument in our household, but okay, moving on to number 6, projects and programs update. Nathan.
Thank you. We will certainly have more speakers as the year comes, I promise.
Will we have more color choices, though?
More color choices, more different sides of the department will come and present to you, I assure you. So no, I will thank you, Chair Wilcoxon, members of the Transportation Commission. I will give you our projects and programs update of what we've done over the last year and what we're kind of looking to move into the future. So referencing the focus point of the Transportation Action Plan to refine the existing transportation infrastructure, fill the system gaps where they are, and then an effective use of the existing right-of-way are 3 key features that we use when we're developing these projects or doing our maintenance improvements throughout the city. So I'm going to go into 2 key focus areas today of the central and the lower part and highlight some of our improvements that have happened over the last year. So capacity improvements for the central area. McCormick Parkway multi-use path has started its design of looking to put a multi-use path on the southern side of McCormick Parkway, this being the main artery for our bike and pedestrian multi-use paths, with the Indian Bend Wash going through here in our path system there. We've provided a pedestrian refuge crossing on McCormick Parkway and looking to see if we need to widen out that sidewalk there. So that feasibility study has just started last year and will continue into this year. One of the most significant things we finished last year was the Loop 101 widening, thanks to ADOT for leading that endeavor. We did have significant skin in the game with the improvements to our interchanges, and we've seen a improvement to the interchange at Frank Lloyd Wright being the key and the biggest one, but also an extension of the right turn bay on Shea, as well as various other things, as well as just the overall widening of the 101. I'll go more into detail in that in a later slide. And then the Shea Boulevard improvements, these were several intersection improvements of adding turn bays as well as improvements to the signals, and also some active transportation or some multi-use improvements through that corridor, as well as adding concrete to one of the underpasses that we have in that corridor. So a comprehensive improvement through that corridor through Shea. And then some safety improvements, the Indian Wash path renovations. We just completed the Osborne section just south of here and are moving into the Indian Wash area just north of McCormick Ranch, going all the way up to the Loop 101, widening those paths out. We just finished the IGA, the agreement. It's not intergovernmental. So
Amended maintenance agreement with
Am-
McCormick Ranch Property Owners Association.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I go too quickly into IGA. This is not
Just
an
say
intergovernmental
agreement.
agreement. This is an agreement with the McCormick Ranch HOA, so that we will go out and widen those paths. Then we have the Cap Canal path design that we finished our agreement with ADOT to continue that design as well. The Loop 101 completion, as I said, it completed. It added one general purpose lane to each direction, reducing that significant choke point that we had right as you came up to Shea, going northbound for sure. That has now been alleviated, as well as interchange improvements at Pima Road, Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, Raintree Drive, and then Shea Boulevard. And then updated freeway and ramp lighting with LED. We also improved the aesthetics and the landscaping throughout the corridor. As you can see, a fresh paint and aesthetic improvements on both the new pillars on the freeway and the existing ones, making sure that it's nice and freshed up, which was a key point for the residents, and we looked to provide that funding as well as with tourism to update and improve those features. Then going to the southern part of the town, we have the Pima Road widening, which will be wrapping up here in the next couple months, hopefully by the end of May or June, to finish that up and widen that road. The Arizona Canal bank improvements, we had a path that just extended from Camelback just up as a developer came in to put in their development. We have a new multi-use path going on the west side of the canal. Shared use path signs, we have new signs along that path highlighting the restrictions to e-bikes on the multi-use paths along the canal, as the federal government does not allow any motorized vehicles on those paths. They own that land, and we adhere to that. Then the safety improvements, the 77th Street emergency access improvements is continuing, and we should be wrapping up design relatively soon. 68th Street, Camelback, and Indian School sidewalks is continuing as well, and we should be starting construction hopefully in the next coming, sometime this year, hopefully before summer, to start that construction. And then 2nd Street, streetscape improvements, we started the study and the design to see what kind of pedestrian improvement features can be added to that corridor to improve that. And then the Old Town pavement, a significant investment to repave and put some preservation to the pavement in the Old Town area. Pavement preservation, our crews went out there and for a couple months did a extensive amount of work, everything from slur seals to fog seals to mill and overlays to improve the condition of the roads in the Old Town area. And here are some of the stats that they had. That was a substantial amount of yardage done, including parking lots and alleys, to freshen up all the pavement down there. I know that was a daunting task for them, and they accomplished it very well, and it's a massive endeavor to try and tackle that, including Christine Linko over here, our public relations officer, of going out there and coordinating with the businesses and the residents out there of all of this. I know everybody pitched in, and it was very large task and was accomplished. They also added the painted crosswalks in several areas, which is a interesting thing to see done, where it is asphalt and they stamp it and then paint it so that it represents bricks but isn't any of the bolenite or any of the maintenance problems that we've had before. So it's a simplified version of giving us the aesthetic feel that we want while maintaining the maintenance that helps us keep it as fresh as possible. Second Street, like I said, we're starting the preliminary design for the improvements to the pedestrian activity along the roadway. We have it as a bond project, and we're looking to see what can be accomplished. So in the next coming months, we'll have identified what we can use to just freshen up and improve walking capabilities through this corridor. The repaving and restriping program, so as our crews go out and repave things, John's team and several of our transportation planners look at ways that we can modify the striping to bring it up to current standards. So several of the corridors in last year's restriping and repaving cycle were able to narrow the lanes a little bit and add some bike features into this. This is not, our standard for lane widths is 11 feet, so sometimes we have wider lanes than are feasible for safety reasons as well as for accommodations of other modes. It affords us the opportunity to add new features. 100th Street between Cactus and Sweetwater allowed us to put a buffer bike lane in. It was already an existing bike lane. This is now a buffer to that. And 68th Street north of Shea allowed us to put a bike lane just on the one side of the road. I took this picture and I was wanted to add it because you see a car parked in there. That is a Waymo that has decided to put itself in our bike lane, so we should probably tell them to not park in bike lanes. So wherever possible, we modify to the current standards and then add bike lanes where we can. Trail improvements through 25. We added 3 new trails up in the northern part of the region. Desert Foothills neighborhood trail system was completed early last year. That's a extensive network through one of our neighborhoods up there to connect to more regional trail routes as well as through the neighborhood itself. The Los Gatos Trail was added, as well as Jomex from Pima to Pinnacle Peak Trailhead. So all of those were completed. Then the reconstruction of the trails for Pinnacle Peak Road from Hayden to 80th to 78th Street. And then the Scottsdale Road trail connections were all reconstructed to add new life to them. And then enhancements on the Riata Wash Trail, the Riata Wash single track from Westworld to Bellevue where brush was removed and allowing people to move through there, as well as the Ashland Hills Trail realignment, where we had a trail that was dipping into a place where it shouldn't go. So we realigned that to be back into the right-of-way or the easement. New inventories, we had several of our staff work on adding inventories that we can use to make sure that we're keeping our assets up to speed. One of them being the wayfinding sign inventory for the Indian Bend Wash multi-use path. We have added those new signs, and now we've completed the inventory of all those signs to make sure that we know where they are, and when we need to replace a sign, we can just highlight where it is and they can go out and replace it. As well as the bike rack Old Town inventory, identifying where all of our bike racks are. So those 2 inventories were completed last year as well. Cycle the Arts, we finished Cycle the Arts again last year, featuring 10 art installments at 9 stops. It was an 11-mile route. We've kind of honed in on how long of a route this event should be. It is, I guess I should back up and say, I'm so, I guess, used to this event now, but Cycle the Arts is an event that we host where we have a route. We coordinate with Scottsdale Art to create a route for us to cycle, and as the title suggests, to the arts or Cycle of the Arts, where we will take groups to each art installation, public art installation. we'll have a speaker there, whether it's the artist themselves or somebody who knows about the art. We'll stop there, they'll talk about the art, and we cycle through. It's on a Saturday. It's a pretty good family-friendly event that is well attended and very much enjoyed. So last year, we did an 11-mile route through Old Town, Southern Scottsdale, and Indian Bend Wash, as you can see the map there. And we give out a t-shirt, some stickers, breakfast, because it's early in the morning. And then we do also add a self-guided map on the internet. So if you couldn't attend the event, you can go and tour the route yourself. This year is the 20th year anniversary, so we're looking forward to highlighting it as much as possible, seeing as it's an anniversary of 20 years of doing this event. And then the local area infrastructure plans. This year, we're looking to update those plans. These are infrastructure plans where when we've inherited these neighborhoods from the county, we needed to identify where the right-of-way and where the roads should go so that we provide access to every parcel. It is a daunting task as the parcels keep getting subdivided, and we keep looking for ways to make sure that we have fee simple right-of-way and roads connecting to each parcel. We will look to update all of our maps to make sure that we look at all possible ways that we maintain access to the properties. With that, any comments or questions?
Thank you, Nathan. That's always great to see kind of the summary of all the work you all do. Commissioners, any comments, questions? Commissioner Koftow.
Hi, Nathan. Love the presentation, always seeing that. I just had I didn't, on the Old Town pavement preservation slide, you had streets, 291,412. Is that representing hours worked on that, or what exactly? Because I didn't think we had that many streets.
It's all square yards.
Square yards, okay, thank you. At the bottom, okay. And then just to John, I just wanted for the restriping, I know we talked about this, I'm just gonna put it on the record though, like the contractors that were being used, they're not putting down everything that was there before they did the restriping. Specifically, I've noticed whenever there's a restriping, that stop here to request a light for bicycles, that symbol just disappears and never comes back. And so at that we were talking about the intersection at Miller and Thomas, that symbol disappeared after they finished their work there. So it's just, yeah, if you want to give your contractors a hard time, that definitely, they're not quite doing, they're not doing everything that they said they were.
Chair Wilcoxon, Commissioner Koftow, that's a very good question. That is actually intentional. We were still evaluating to see if we should continue with the marking, or we should just, many years ago, a few years, I think it's like almost 10 years ago, we kind of pilot that project. And if we're looking at different agencies around us, they don't really do something like that because it's almost like understood that if you're there, so we are trying to streamline the detection system, just like a vehicle, right? They don't have any indication saying that you park here, you'll be detected. It's going to be very similar for the bike if we're able to streamline the detection system. If the bikes are there waiting within reason, of time, 20, 30 seconds, whatever, they'll be picked up. And that's what we're trying to do. And if we're able to do that, we can do away with other symbols. And it's very preliminary, still kind of evaluating. We didn't know which way we're going yet, but that's kind of where we're at.
Okay. I have a follow-up then on that, which is, when they don't put the symbol back down the pavement, you still see the sign bolted to the street light, or to the the traffic light mast there. So when you decide one way or the other on that, if you decide to just not have that anymore, are you going to also pull down those signs that are there?
Yes, the discussion is going to be both. We're either going to have both or we're not going to have any.
Okay. And then how are you determining how it's understood, I guess? Because it just, what I'm thinking of is there's certain places where it used to be, there wasn't like a bike lane, like again, Miller, because that's the one I spend a lot of time on. Miller's like a one-lane road, except at the intersection it becomes a one-lane with a turn bay as well, and then the turn bay would have that little square, and it was always to the left, and so that's where you would put your bike, is right there in that left box, but that box isn't there anymore. And when I first started using it, I really enjoyed that because it wasn't intuitive to me to be on the left side there, but it's nice because I've noticed drivers, if they can, they'll fit behind me and then they'll do a right on red through there, although I have other feelings about right on red. But, at least the driver didn't feel like I was holding them up, and I was able, and I didn't feel like I was holding somebody up either because I was there. If I was on the right-hand side, people just sit behind you. They don't kind of go around and then cut and then turn in front of you. And so, which I appreciate also, but I liked it when it was obvious that you should wait to the left of that turn bay.
Chair Wilcoxon, Commissioner Cuptile, that's very good input. So we're not, when I said either we have both or we don't have anything, but we can have something else instead of that. We were thinking of doing the bike symbol, the bigger bike symbol in the bike lane areas. So, people, the bicyclists would know that if there's a bike lane, if you're in here, you're going to be detected. So we are looking at different options, somehow, some way to make sure that the bicyclists would understand that, hey, if they're going to be here, they'll be okay. They'll be detected.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Marmon.
Thank you. Is the 68th Street sidewalk project still moving ahead?
It is still moving ahead. We're wrapping up design, and then we'll have one last public outreach effort to show the full design to those residents along there. We have, a very small amount of residents that live on that 68th Street, so we've been constantly talking to them about this project and what will happen. Then we'll move forward with construction this year. So yeah, it's moving ahead.
Thank you.
I just had one other question, or actually really a comment to add on to Commissioner Marmon's comment. When we do get to 68th Street, it sounds like you're talking to the residents. I think it's a really big deal, and it's not necessarily just a big deal for them because they pushed for it. I remember them coming here and speaking in front of the commission, but I think it's really a good case study to advertise because it is a situation where people didn't know what to do. They turned to their government, and their government responded to them. It took a long time, but that's kind of the nature of government. But the point is, it's a good example of how the government worked for the citizens' request to make that, that road better for them. And I think it's a really good example for Scottsdale and a really good inspiration for people who have other ideas. So I hope we really celebrate that as a city as well as the people on that street. So,
Chair Wilcox, thank you. We definitely want to get that over the finish line, and then we'll celebrate it.
right, that brings us to the end of the agenda, except for the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
We have a motion from Commissioner Cuptile. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a
Commissioner
second
Cardella.
from Vice Chair Cardella. With that, it's just a voice vote, correct? Yes. Okay. So all those in favor?
That's correct.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you all. We'll see you in February, and can't wait to see what the design options are going to look like for those buses.
Thank you.